and it's incredible that, like, a little over 500 years ago, there are all of these ecstatic bhaktas roaming Vrindavan, which was just like a beautiful force. You had Hridhari Vamsa, you had Haridas Swami, you had
They're
Śrī
all these
Chaitanya
incredibly great souls. And the interesting thing is, they weren't from there. They all came there
Not
almost
all
as
of
if
them,
there was
Raghunath.
like a secret messenger pigeon flying around, like, leave whatever you're doing and go to this jungle. It's not like go to New York City or go to Dubai. Go to the forest. Leave everything behind and go to the forest and live there. And yeah, all these really ecstatic, exalted, academic, because they were writers, right? Wrote
Not
so
all
much
of
literature.
not all of them. You see, and this is some of the things that got clarified in my mind.
Okay.
And Hridhari Vamsa was actually Brijvasi.
Oh, he was a Brijvasi. Okay.
He was from here,
Interesting.
which is interesting. Like, in other words, you had Śrī Chaitanya, and you have the Six Goswamis. They're all there. Six Goswamis, Vallabhacharya's son, Viltanath. Like, they're all these incredibly deep bhakti yogis who are not just into bhakti, like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya before. They're into Vrindavan Bhakti, Braja Bhakti. They're into that love in the very intimate sense, the love of the gopis, the love of the residents of Vrindavan, the love of Krishna's parents, the love of Krishna's
But why? Why did it all happen at that moment? Why was there a bhakti renaissance at that moment?
Well, it's all Krishna's will, certainly, but it took the bhakti movement into a much deeper place. But here's what some of what became important to me. We went to the Rādhā-vallabha temple, which is like the mainstay, the headquarters, you could say, of the not the Vallabha Sampradaya, but the Vallabhis, you would say, but the lineage of Hridhari Vamsa. And because the deity there is Rādhā-vallabha, his deity. It was a deity given to him by Lord Shiva. That it's the heart. He asked, actually it was given to him, but Lord Shiva was asked, give me what's dearest to your heart. And he gave this deity of Rādhā-vallabha. It's such a beautiful deity for Krishna.
Great. It's a great little deity, great temple. You and I have had great times at that temple.
That temple was rocking, jam-packed. And they took us up to the roof, and we got to meet the Goswami of the temple, who's, like one of the highest leaders of that lineage.
You didn't meet Premananda Ji, did you?
Premananda, you see, he's different. He's not a Goswami from the temple. He's like a sadhu. The Goswamis from the temples are all married people.
Okay.
And they hand down the lineage. He is like this ecstatic saint that's in that same lineage, which is really more of a Grihastha lineage.
Sure.
But when he spoke, he said things that were like radical to us, in a sense.
Who, the Goswami?
Yes. He said, our worship here, our upasana, our worship of the deity, this is Vishuddha Prema Bhakti. Okay? It has nothing to do with rules and regulations. This is what we would call Raga Bhakti. Right?
Okay.
It means, and he was getting really explicit about it. Like, for instance, in the Vedic literature, where it teaches you about the rules and regulations so that you cultivate bhakti, his point was, Krishna's not interested in those rules and regulations. Right? Krishna's
trying to tell you that. I've been trying to tell you that for a while. You know why I favor Hridhari Vamsa, don't you?
Lord Chaitanya.
It's because they can eat prasadam on Ekadasi. They can eat grains on Ekadasi because they say prasadam cannot be contaminated. Listen, sometimes you got to broaden your perspective.
Let me broaden yours a little, right, for a second here.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from New York City, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York City, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome. Happy holidays. And I'm in New York City, visited my mom, heard my mom was a little sick. So after our big, we had a little festival at Super Soul Farm. It was very, very sweet. And Catherine A's here today. Good morning, Catherine A. Catherine A was there too. Everybody showed up, and we packed our. I didn't really expect it to be that packed. It packed, and it was almost like no one's there. Everybody's there, right there, Pranapriya?
Yeah, totally.
It was like a school bus pulled in, and everybody just piled out of that bus. And then we just had Kirtan Leela reading Krishna Leela. Kirtan, Radha and Krishna Leela. Kirtan, Radha and Krishna Leela. It was super. And we had a special offering for Phil's father that had passed. So all the devotees were meditating on Phil's father. This is like what you do when someone dies. You sponsor a feast, and everybody enjoys the feast, and all the devotees are giving blessings, and it was so beautiful. And during the kirtan, right? Tell the story.
His fault.
Tell the story. We got another part of our community had a baby.
Right during the kirtan?
Right during the kirtan, baby was born. Right? Prana?
As far as I know, we got the message during the kirtan.
All right, we'll take that. We'll take that as close enough.
The baby was actually born, but
yeah, it was Quincy and Lucas had baby Grayson Arjun. Grayson Arjun was born.
Twins?
No, it's just one kid with two
Grace
names.
and Arjun.
Grayson Arjun.
Grayson, okay.
Grayson Arjun, yeah.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah. And isn't that what community is about? You know, you glorify, you appreciate you're together there celebrating the birth, you're grieving and with supporting each other during the loss. And this is the beautiful thing about community. And it's a necessity, and we've sort of lost it, and we're resurrecting it, you know? Especially Americans, we're just like isolationists. We just like break away from our family, you know, as soon as we turn like 16. And then it's like we're just sort of out there alone. Sort of like you and me have done. I'm trying to get back. I'm here at my mom's right now trying to get back. Trying to like make up for all that I've lost. But how are you, Kaustubha? You're sitting in the dark. What's going on?
I'm worried because there's no electricity, and I'm running on the battery, and the battery's looking a little low, so I don't know if I'm going to still be here at the end of the show, but hopefully it'll come back on at any moment. I'm a little worried, too, that the connection will be strong enough that we don't have a big lag, but so far so good. So let's just hope for the best. But I just, this morning was the last day of the retreat that I was taking part in.
In Vrindavan.
And it was really fabulous. Really, really very, very valuable time, last 10 days.
If you don't know, Kaustubha's doing
so
this.
So much I could say, but I could do a whole show on that.
Yeah, Kaustubha's doing this retreat with Vaishnava academic scholars. They're not just scholars. They're actually practicing Vaishnava scholars. And they have like a lot of depth and insight into their study. And they're also really nice devotees. And so... I was really jealous. I was thinking, oh man, I would love to do something like that, but it's like right before Christmas, so I'd have to blow off Christmas, and just in my role as dad, I just can't do that. I have to put Santa Claus higher than Narottam Das Thakur. Just due to the trick of, what is it called? The trick of fate?
Trick of chance?
The trick of chance. I have to still worship Santa Claus.
Okay, you worship Santa Claus. But, I'll just say this. I could easily talk this whole hour on all the things we went through, all the people that we met, the places we went, the subjects that we discussed in incredible depth with, the insight of really good devotees that are very academically qualified, that have dug deep into these subjects. Because a lot of things that I've known for decades, I haven't known very deeply, and right. They could help you understand it more deeply. And I'll say do something like this, and what happens is you hear all these different classes and so on, and the whole experience kind of goes through the filter of your memory, and you're left with like a few little nuggets from the whole thing, and most of it kind of slips through that sieve,
Yeah.
But this didn't feel like that at all. What this felt like to me was all these things that I know already. It deepened my understanding of it, but not only that, it tied it all together. It was it was kind of ingenious how they covered so much territory that was all related, and I just feel like, I just got a deeper and clearer understanding of what bhakti is, what Braja Bhakti is, who
Well,
Śrī Chaitanya is, what he came
Why don't you
to
clue
experience,
us in?
what he
Give
came
us
to
a
get.
nugget, sir. Don't just leave us here like, yeah, I've already knew a lot, but they taught me more, and I'm just not going to tell you. Why don't you just tell us something? It's Monday morning. Fill our cup.
I'm happy to do that, but it might take a while, Raghunath. You might not. I mean, this is the Bhagavatam. Want me to share some things?
Yeah, I want you to share something.
But if I'm going to share it, I have to kind of spread it out. I can't just give it to you like in a nugget. I have to kind of spread it out. But I'm happy to do that if you like.
It depends. Is it going to be boring or is it going to be interesting? It's Monday morning. I'm also like...
For you or for everybody else? Why don't we hold on it for now? And some
maybe
of it
you can extract some type of like essence, like an essential oil.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. I'll try to do that. Yes.
Okay.
We really helped me crystallize my understanding of the different bhakti lineages in Vrindavan. And the ones
that's
that are
interesting.
Oh, yeah. The ones that are all about Vrindavan. And then one thing that never, it just wasn't clear enough in my mind, but the distinctions. In other words, among those, there's really 4 lineages.
All right, let me guess. Let me guess. Vallabhacharya.
Vallabhacharya, the Pushti Marg.
And then there is, who's the guru of Rādhā-vallabha?
Well,
Hidharivamsa. Hidharivamsa.
Hidharivamsa is another.
I'm nailing this. Okay, and there's one more, right?
2.
Haridas Swami, which is not Haridas
Swami.
Thakur. He's the one with Bunky Bihari.
Yes, and he's kind of, in one sense, maybe loosely, but definitely connected to the Nimbarka lineage. Yes,
Sure.
Haridas Swami. And one more. You should be able to get this one.
Besides us?
No, not besides us. Us are the ones that you didn't name.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm practically academic, my friend. A lot of people don't know those. A lot of people don't know that. Now, the interesting thing is they called Hidharivamsa Mahaprabhu himself.
They called Vallabhacharya Mahaprabhu as well.
Yeah, I know. So there's 3 Mahaprabhus.
Great Prabhus.
Great Prabhus.
And so here's something, Raghunath. Now, this you nailed that, but think about this. Amongst those 4 lineages, 2 of them, they don't really interact with Vedānta the way the others 2 do. In other words, you take Hidharivamsa.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's incredible that, a little over 500 years ago, there are all of these ecstatic bhaktas roaming Vrindavan, which was just like a beautiful force. You had Hidharivamsa, you had Haridas Swami, you had
They're
Śrī
all these
Chaitanya,
incredibly great souls. And the interesting thing is, they weren't from there. They all came there almost as if there was like a secret messenger pigeon flying around, like, leave whatever you're doing and go to this jungle. It's not like go to New York City or go to Dubai. Go to the forest. Leave everything behind and go to the forest and live there. And all these really ecstatic, exalted, academic, because they were writers, right? They wrote so much literature.
Not all of them. You see, and this is some of the things that got clarified in my mind.
Okay.
And Hidharivamsa was actually Brijvasi.
Oh, he was a Brijvasi? Okay.
He was from here, which is interesting. In other words, you had Śrī Chaitanya and you have the 6 Goswamis. They're all there. 6 Goswamis, Vallabhacharya's son, Viltanath. They're all these incredibly deep bhakti yogis who are not just into bhakti, like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya before. They're into Vrindavan Bhakti, Braja Bhakti. They're into that love in the very intimate sense, the love of the gopis, the love of the residents of Vrindavan, the love of the Krishna's parents, the love of Krishna's
But why? Why did it all happen at that moment? Why was there a bhakti renaissance at that moment?
Well, it's all Krishna's will, certainly, you know, but it took the bhakti movement into a much deeper place. But here's what some of what became important to me. We went to the Rādhā-vallabha temple,
Yeah.
which is like the mainstay, the headquarters, you could say, of the not the Vallabha Sampradaya, but the Vallabhis, you would say, but the lineage of Hidhari Vamsa. And because the deity there is Rādhā-vallabha, his deity. It was a deity given to him by Lord Shiva. That it's the heart. He asked, actually it was given to him, but Lord Shiva was asked, give me what's dearest to your heart. And he gave this deity of Rādhā-vallabha. It's such a beautiful deity for Krishna.
Great. It's a great little deity, great temple. You and I have had great times at that temple.
That temple was rocking. Jam-packed. And they took us up to the roof, and we got to meet the Goswami of the temple, who's, like one of the highest leaders of that lineage.
You didn't meet Premananda Ji, did you?
Premananda, you see, he's different. He's not a Goswami from the temple. He's like a sadhu. The Goswamis from the temples are all married people.
Okay.
And they hand down the lineage. He's like this ecstatic saint that's in that same lineage, which is really more of a Grihastha lineage.
Sure.
But when he spoke, he said things that were like radical to us, in a sense.
Who, the Goswami?
Yes. He said, our worship here, our upasana, our worship of the deity, this is Vishuddha Prema Bhakti. Okay? It has nothing to do with rules and regulations. This is what we would call Raga Bhakti. Right?
Okay.
It means, and he was getting really explicit about it. Like, for instance, in the Vedic literature, where it teaches you about the rules and regulations so that you cultivate bhakti, his point was, Krishna's not interested in those rules and regulations. Right? Krishna's
I've been trying to tell you that. I've been trying to tell you that for a while. You know why I favor Hidhari Vamsa, don't you?
Lord
It's because they can eat prasadam on Ekadasi. They can eat grains on Ekadasi because they say prasadam cannot be contaminated. Listen, sometimes you got to broaden your perspective.
Let me broaden yours a little, right, for a second here, okay? Now, he said, he went right to like the fundamentals of like Vedic practice. Like the morning bath is part of the ritual for a Hindu, for a Brahmana, right? Like for anyone worshiping a deity. You wake up, you take the morning bath. Yeah. That's where the rules begin for the day of all the different, and for these Brahmanas, there's all these different rules that you're supposed to follow. He said, bathing, not important. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I sure.
He did. In other words, he's not saying that he doesn't bathe. He looked like a very clean gentleman. But what he's saying is those rules don't touch Krishna's heart. Only love touches Krishna's heart. He's saying there are all these people, Vedic Brahmanas, that are trying to get close to Krishna, and Krishna's not interested in them, whereas the gopis of Vrindavan, they're hitting Krishna with sticks. They're insulting him, and Krishna won't let them go. You understand? So he's emphasizing this point, which is central to our lineage.
Sure.
That what moves Krishna is intimate love and nothing else. Now, Śrī Chaitanya and Vallabha, they engaged with Vedānta. They wrote commentaries rebutting Shankaracharya's positions and refining the positions of the previous other acharyas. They were philosophers. They were writing. The ecstatic saint commonly, although certainly our Goswamis did, but they were just singing songs. So for them, even Shastra is not really important. Even Bhagavatam, certainly they read it and they love it for its Krishna Leela, but they don't argue that this is the highest pramana. They Hidhari Vamsa's songs of devotion for them are as high as, or even higher than scripture. And so their method of bhakti and their practice, their worship, is to sing those songs and meditate on the feelings of the gopis that they have for Krishna. That's their lineage. Now let's go to Śrī Chaitanya, right? Remember when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Jagadananda Pandit, one of Śrī Chaitanya's associates, he had never been to Vrindavan. He keeps begging Śrī Chaitanya, please give me permission to go to Vrindavan. It means you have to walk for months.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to just fly to Delhi, hop in an Uber, and end up in Vrindavan in 3 hours and take the Yamuna,
Yes.
take the Yamuna Expressway south, stop off at Starbucks first, get some of those little mango fruit leathers.
Like you have to walk from Orissa, but when you get to Varanasi, you're okay. But after that, you're going to need like chhatris to go with you because there's tons of dacoits, tons of robbers that'll, kidnap you, like it's like, so you have to walk for months and go through dangers to get to Vrindavan. But Śrī Chaitanya is very reluctant to give him permission to go. And then finally, Swarup Damodar Goswami, who's like the closest associate to Śrī Chaitanya, Jagannatha Pandit, goes to him and says, can you please help me with this? Tell him to give me permission. I just want to go. I'll come back. I just want to go to see Vrindavan. So he asks on behalf of Jagannatha Pandit, and Śrī Chaitanya grants his permission. But he says, don't associate very closely with the residents there. You will not understand their mood. Right?
It's important. It's an important instruction.
Taking a bath's not important. Doing this isn't important. Doing that isn't important. He wouldn't understand that. Right? So he says, you stay with Sanatana Goswami. You go for only a short time. You don't leave the side of Srila Sanatana Goswami. Right? He's the one that has he can understand that mood that these Vrindavan and respect it. Not imitate it. Respect it. And so that love, there's the bhakti that like say Ramanuja Madhva, that they drew out of Vedānta, that they drew out of the ancient texts. They can say, here it is in the Upanishads, here it is, and then let's look at the Puranas and understanding the depth that they go to, that bhakti is what it all leads to. But the bhakti that the residents in Vrindavan has is something that very few people understand. And Śrī Chaitanya came to this world as Krishna, wanting to taste that. Right, wanting to taste the love that the gopis have, wanting to taste the love that the type of love that the Brajbasis have, this intimate love. He wanted to experience it himself, but not only that. He somehow wanted to give that unique love that a rare Vrindavan Brajbasi has for Krishna, that we can't really understand, that's beyond the rules and regulations of Vedanta even. He wanted to give it to the whole world. And in order to do that, he instructed and empowered our six Goswamis to do all of the work of uncovering the holy sites, of establishing the places of worship in Vrindavan, and of writing all the books and the text to help us understand what that very special bhakti is, what that very special love is, and the method that we need to go through to attain it, which involves Vaidhi Bhakti, matures into Raga and Yoga Bhakti. And ultimately that he wanted the whole world to develop the kind of love that Vrindavan Brajbasi resident has. It's an incredible thing. It's incredibly bold and, what's the word to use when you take on something that's really difficult, like...
a noble task.
A noble task, but like... It's a very high level task. And Śrī Chaitanya is feeling that the love of the ecstatic saint. He's not writing the books because he's so deep into it himself. He's staying up all night and feeling the mood of Radharani, feeling those feelings.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So if Radharani herself is not such a public, more like a confidential player in Radha and Krishna Leela, you don't hear about her so much. You don't hear about her in the Bhagavatam. Yet, even Madhavendra Puri, who's the Param Guru, the grandfather guru of Lord Chaitanya, didn't speak about her. Or I don't know if he worshipped Radha and Krishna.
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yes.
Okay, well, how are all these lineages coming together now, publicly talking about Radharani? Almost like for the first time. Historically.
Well, you see, actually, it's not the first time. For instance, if you go back, you can go back far and hear this type of thing in the writings of the Alwars, right? Like these mystic poets that go back to the Sri Sampradaya.
The Alwars wrote about Radha and Krishna?
They wrote about the gopis, and they wrote about the gopis
Okay.
and Krishna. Yes,
I'm not Alwar literate.
Well, but this is really interesting. Even after that, but but no one in that lineage established the worship of Radha and Krishna, right? They never made a Radha Krishna temple, for instance.
Okay.
And identified that this right here, is what we're aiming for. But you know who did? And this is still centuries before Śrī Chaitanya and Vallabha and all the others.
Who's that?
Nimbarka.
Mm-hmm.
Nimbarkacharya, like centuries before Śrī Chaitanya established the worship of Radha and Krishna. So it's there in the Puranas, but not so explicit, and within the realm of Vedanta, establishing the worship of Radha and Krishna. So that's already there. I don't know if somehow Madhavendra Puri was influenced by that. It seems like Madhavendra Puri is where it comes into our lineage. So when Śrī Chaitanya is growing up, what atmosphere is he growing up in? He's growing up in a family that worships Lord Vishnu, right?
Right.
But at the same time, his neighborhood is infused with this special kind of love, because you have Advaita Acharya there, you have Gadadhar Pandit, you have these people that were influenced by Madhavendra Puri, who had that braja, that special, rag bhakti.
That's why these Vaishnava academics are great, because they do a lot of they're digging around and stuff and giving you this insider info. I'm really excited that you took that course.
It was Raghunath. It was really wonderful. It really
would I have liked it, or would I have been bored?
I think you would have loved most of it and would have been bored some of the time, just because there were long sessions of sitting in classrooms and so on.
Yeah, that's hard for me.
But I'm sure there's so much of it that you would have loved. Raghunath, I have to share this.
Please.
There was one day that we were brought to, we met with Srivastava Goswami from the Rādhā-ramaṇa temple.
I always wanted to meet him.
Who's, he was a beautiful, beautiful man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. He's what a cultured, brilliant Vaishnava. And he came in there. There's a special hall that I never heard of it before. And we met there. And he spoke. And he described, you see, this was kind of like new for me in a sense. Like when he described Śrī Chaitanya and he said, who did Śrī Chaitanya choose to do his work? To establish Vrindavan within the realm of Vedanta as being so important. He didn't find the most exalted and respected brahmanas. My battery's getting low. I'm probably going to die. You're going to probably have to take the show.
We're going to miss you. We got to get to the end of this. Can we eat grains on Ekadasi or not? What is the difference?
You must not.
Hit Harivamsa says otherwise.
Yeah,
that's why we're all here this morning. But I am following him. I have appreciation.
So,
hey, go on.
Krishna Chaitanya Das has shared a very relevant quote, and this is from Madhavendra Puri. "O Lord, in my prayers 3 times a day, all glory to you. Bathing, I offer my obeisances to you. O demigods, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendants of the Yoda dynasty, Krishna and the enemy of Kamsa, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me." I think just remembering Krishna will purify me more than following all those rules and regulations. But this is Madhavendra Puri. Śrī Chaitanya is not telling us to jump there, but he's giving us the method where we can get that love, that kind of depth of love. But what Srivastava Goswami, and Raghunath, it was so beautiful. He was talking about the Goswamis, and he just broke down into tears.
Wow.
He broke down into, who did Śrī Chaitanya choose? He didn't choose, he chose the outsiders. We always think of Rupa and Sanatana as the ultimate insiders of Vrindavan, right?
Right, yeah.
But like Harivamsa is actually the insider. He's born Brijbasi.
Right.
Rupa and Sanatan, Jiva, they weren't...
They're Bengalis.
They're Bengalis, or what we call now Bangladeshis, right? They were they would say themselves, we're from very fallen families. And they practically considered themselves to be Muslims and practically untouchables. Like that's how they saw themselves, right? He was saying, Raghunath Goswami. He's a Shudra, right? And filthy rich. He said it like that, filthy rich.
Are we losing Kaustubha, Prana?
Right. But these great souls,
Yeah.
they knew how to do everything it would take to... Are you losing me? Oh, man. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
It's okay. You're back.
Okay.
So Raghunath Goswami, filthy rich.
You know, but he chose these Goswamis who were obviously the most exalted beings, even though they took birth in Hindu, outside of the Hindu elite, right? Quite the opposite. But they were incredibly, the deepest of devotees, and they knew how to deal with the world. They knew how to deal with kings. They knew how to deal with politics. They knew how to deal with money. They knew everything that it would take, because another thing that they spoke about a lot, Raghunath, was the history of Vrindavan and all the political influences that were there.
That I really want to dig into.
It was really interesting.
Because that's becoming sort of like a topic now, is like how these Goswamis were connected to sometimes the Hindu kings that were also governed by the Muslim kings, and how they interacted, how they built temples.
You know, Raghunath, the picture, he gave this picture, the Shivaji was fine. That's so different from like kind of the simplistic picture that we've been given.
Yeah.
Like the Radha Govinda temple. We think, okay, we established a temple to Krishna, and we hear this story that Aurangzeb saw the lamp on top from miles away and just out of his... Can you hear me?
Nature destroyed it.
Yeah, but it's not actually nearly so simple.
Oh, really? Tell me, because I
Yes.
tell that story all the time. If you don't know, the story is that Aurangzeb, who's like an incredible, notorious, demonic king, and literally slaughtered maybe millions. I mean, he was like the Hitler of the Mughal Empire, slaughtering Brahmins. So they say that he was living in Agra, and he saw right up the river the Govindaji temple, which was like a pyramid, and it had a big 24/7 lamp burning. And he said, oh, that outshines the Taj Mahal. I want to destroy it. And they leveled it, or they raised it. So what's the story? You got an insider scoop?
Of all, there was no lamp up there that you can see all the way from Agra. That's just a story someone made up.
That's a story. Okay, I've been telling that story.
We've all been there,
Sometimes
right?
it's a good story. It's a good story. All right, so you can't see that lamp.
So his father, Akbar,
Grandfather.
grandfather, okay, he was actually very close with the Vaishnavas. You know, from the followers of Swami Haridas, they say that he would fell in love with Swami Haridas's music, and he was being trained in that whole devotional music by Swami Haridas.
Akbar met Haridas because his
Yes.
court
Oh,
musician.
hey, electricity came on.
Oh,
I think. Oh, this
Yeah,
is good
I still
news.
can't
It could
see
be
you.
just in time. Well, the light hasn't gone on, but I think I'm connected with electricity, so my computer
Okay.
may survive. And let
Okay.
me see if I can get on the... in a moment, I'll see if I can get on my better internet. I'm sorry, go ahead. Please continue.
I'm just saying. I can't. I truthfully lost my train of thought. But I know
You were
Akbar
talking about
was.
Akbar Swami Haridas.
Akbar had a court musician that was a disciple
Yes.
of Haridas Swami from the Bunky Bihari temple. And then he
Well,
said,
this
and then
isn't
he
the
said,
Haridas Thakur of our lineage.
this is Haridas Swami from Bunky Bihari, who discovered Bunky Bihari. And he and he's saying, you are such an incredible musician. He says, you think I'm incredible? You should hear my guru. And they went to Vrindavan to meet Haridas Swami, who they say, now maybe this is a story your academics can debunk,
Okay, all right.
but they said Haridas Swami had ragas that he could sing that would make it rain, and that would make the rain stop. What do your academics say about that?
I didn't ask them about that, but
Okay, maybe
I don't doubt it for a moment.
They probably
Raghunath. I
don't
doubt it for a moment.
believe it, but I believe.
No, Raghunath, these are Vaishnavas.
Okay.
These aren't cold.
I thought they were a bunch of
outside the
skeptics
bottle.
like you who don't believe in Krishna miracles.
You see, I'm not a skeptic. Oh, by the way, I just can't continue without saying this. Last night, it was kind of the grand. We met this morning and shared appreciations and so on. But last night was really the final, the kind of the end of it. And it ended, you know where it ended?
Where?
Tatiyā Sthān.
That's our place. That's our happy place.
I tell you, Raghunath, and I had been there. When I had been there before, it was like around noon or something like that, or early, like 11 or something like that.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
This time we
RT
went.
they have.
This 10 o'clock RT. This was like more like the afternoon, like sunset kind of RT that we went to. Raghunath. First of all, so it wasn't so busy when I was there, and I guess Vrindavan wasn't as busy. So there was some interest in, although it's still kind of secluded and everything. This place is where these sādhus.
Let me just let me paint the picture. Let me paint the picture.
Paint the picture.
All right, paint the picture. All right. So you're getting a vibe of what Vrindavan might have been like 300 years ago.
Yeah, or even 1,000 years ago.
Or even,
right?
yeah. Basically, a big wall, right? And once you go into the walled gates, there's nothing but sort of like soft sand dirt, okay? No cell phones, no cameras are allowed in. There's not even any lights. There's no electricity.
There's no electricity.
It's like you're off the grid. I think this might be your message that Krishna's trying to send you, Kaustubha. And you got to listen to the whisper. You see right now you're struggling with no electricity. You're struggling there in the dark. You're worried about your computer. I think Krishna is telling you, you got to keep it simple. You're too in the grid. You're too wrapped up in this whole.
Should I just walk away right now?
No, but just think about it. Let it sift through the gravel.
Right. I'll marinate in that.
Okay?
For a while. Thank you.
And because these people, this temple, and it's so interesting why people don't follow it. Because it always wins. Nature always wins. You can't use they worship the trees. They worship the dust. And then even in the altar, sometimes you can't even see the altar because there's no light in the altar. They just have candles lit. And all the ladies are up front, which is the way it should be. All the ladies should be up front. Let's just share that. Keep the ladies up front so they can see, right? And then all the men in the back, and they all just sing beautifully. No, this is another thing. If I ever become the prime minister or have influence to the prime minister, I'm going to say, Mr. Modi, we're going to have to ban all loudspeakers and microphones.
Amplification.
Amplification has been ruining India since I've been going there. It's just like people just like trying to sing their bhajans so loud through lousy speakers. It's just like, just sing. No one wants to. Let's just sing. How beautiful does singing sound when there's no speakers involved? It's just beautiful.
The little tambura out,
Yeah. Just sing.
You walk in there, and first thing everybody, because like you walk through the initial gate, but then there's another gate that you go into to go into the real
inner chambers.
The inner chambers. Although it's still a large area. Ancient trees. Trees. They worship the dust of Vrindavan. And when you get in, and they worship it so much that every day they sift the dust. And when we say dust, it's hard to imagine. It's like picture going to a beach.
Yeah,
but
it's more like the sand of Vrindavan.
But the sand is softer and finer. It's very fine and soft. And when you they sift that every day. So when you go in and walk into that sand, it's thick and deep. And it's like you're walking in marshmallows, It's like you practically want to eat that sand. It's so nice,
Yeah.
And they cover themselves, they cover their foreheads, their heads with that sand.
Yeah.
And
so they use it almost like we would put chundan or tilak.
Sometimes they do a negative tilak with it, right? Like they do everything but the tilak with this.
Sometimes they make ever see them make these like sand castle
altars? That's what they did. You see, they, they, you know, you walk in there and there's the temple, and then there's like another small temple to the side. And when you come around the back of that, they make an area for their, because they have one sadhu who's like the acharya there. He's the one that worships the deity. Nobody else does.
Yeah.
And he's everybody's guru there, you know?
Yeah.
And they made this, the way that I could describe it, it's like if someone filled a mold of with a bathtub with the sand and then turned the bathtub over. Because it was like ovalish, but the sides were slanted in and the top was perfectly flat.
So what is that? Is that's a seat? That's a seat?
Yeah. Then when when their guru came around, that was his asana, not any ornate carved throne.
Yeah.
It was the dust of Vrindavan acting as his.
I like this so much. This is my future ashram I want to build.
It was so cool.
Yeah, you know, we may have to recreate this word, the dust of Vrindavan, because dust in America,
What do we call it? What do we call it?
The sand, the earth of Vrindavan. Because if you think about dust, no one likes dust. I mean, dust is just, it's not dust. Dust is dust.
The soft sand, maybe the soft sand.
The soft sand, soft earth of Vrindavan.
Oh,
right?
Powder.
Dust. It's like we're dusting dust. We're vacuuming dust.
It's like
dust is up there with cobwebs, but this is like you're not walking on dust. You're walking on earth.
I don't ever want to wear shoes again in my life. I want to lie down in this dust and just stay here. You know?
Yeah.
It's my bed. It's my food. It's my everything. You know, that dust. They have such appreciation for it. It's a beautiful thing.
And you can't even compare it to because some of us can say, oh yeah, because I've been to beautiful beaches. But the problem with beautiful beaches is it's somehow blended with the scent of fish. You know what I mean? When you're walking on a beach, it's just like there's probably a fish in there somewhere ground up.
No, it's pure.
It's not like that. It doesn't have that fishy smell like sand beaches do.
No, it's something you have to be there.
All right, we're going to go there. Next trip, I'm taking everybody to Tatiyā Sthān. We are almost there this time, but we just ran out of time.
So in any case, let's get back to the Govindaji temple.
Okay, so what happened? He didn't say that lamp is burning bright.
First of all, the establishing of that temple was so much facilitated by Akbar himself.
Really?
He was a friend of the Vaishnavas.
Really?
Yes. Akbar, not Aurangzeb.
That's not what my Hindu nationalist friends say, but go on.
Well, this is what the Goswamis say. And Jiva Goswami even had, and you may have seen that when you go around the Rādhā-vallabha temple, you come around the back, you start coming up the other side, there's an inscription in the stone that's thanking Akbar for his contribution. And it was composed by Jiva Goswami. Now, one thing we had to get through our heads, Raghunath, right off the bat, the temple of Radha Govindaji, which is like the most stunning architectural feat of sandstone, the temple. Were you aware of that?
I am. I've only seen it in its broken disrepair, but yes.
No. I'm saying Rupa never saw that temple.
I was not aware of. Rupa Goswami never saw that temple.
After he had passed away.
How much afterwards?
Well, it couldn't have been too long afterwards because Jiva was still there.
Okay, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I could only imagine what it must be like when that was all jungle, and then there was like this beautiful temple within the jungle.
Now this is one of the kind of, and I hope I get things as right as possible, but we think that Aurangzeb just tore it down because he hated Hindus.
Okay, he did.
It wasn't a religious statement. It was a political statement. And because of this, you see, there were Rajput. These are Hindu, like a Hindu army.
Yeah.
Led by the Hindu politicians. And these were they were actually connected. You know who hid there in the temple of Radha Govindaji, or in the area of it, was Shivaji.
Shivaji hid
from
in the
Maharashtra.
temple.
From Maharashtra.
Really, he hid in that temple.
You see, Shivaji was under he was captured by Aurangzeb, and he was freed by the Rajputs. and the Rajputs were resisting Aurangzeb and not paying taxes. It was it was more like this, and this is a bit mind blowing, but the army of Akbar, which was composed of a blend of Muslim and Hindu soldiers, if I remember correctly. I hope I'm not messing up history here. You know, it's bad when you do this stuff over the internet.
You might be. You got these left-wing liberal scholars telling you all these stories. Go on. Left-wing liberal scholars who favor the invaders. Let's be
the Muslim. The left. This is all about Islamophobia, Raghunath. Okay. but actually, Akbar's army had to fight the Rajputs, and they were blessed. Maybe it was even Aurangzeb, I'm not sure, but they were blessed by Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, because the relationship between the Goswamis and Aurangzeb and Akbar was so close. In other words, and because he finally regained control, Aurangzeb, he made a political statement, and he attacked certain temples, and he tore certain temples down, including in Varanasi, in Mathura, and the Radha Govinda temple. But he didn't knock the Radha Govinda temple down. He left it standing. He just knocked the top off of it. He didn't tear it down, because that was done with so much cooperation of his own grandfather. Interesting, huh?
You are sounding like you are a child of the Stockholm Syndrome. Worshipping your captors and your... All right, we're going to stop right now, because...
You're not happy with this story?
I'm not happy with this story.
Nationalist?
I'm not happy with this story. These guys destroyed Aurangzeb destroyed the major Hindu temples, including Ayodhya,
what I'm telling you,
Kashi Vishwanath, Krishna Janma, where Krishna was born. He was just destroyed.
I'm not supporting him. I'm just trying to help you understand the history here.
And they tried to take all the deities. Okay. What's that about? They went to take all those deities are in hiding. Yeah, they didn't take them because they were hidden. They were hidden.
See, that's
I don't
the story you've been telling. But it wasn't, Raghunath. If the deities had gone, and different lineage, Vaishnava lineages have different stories about why the deities were taken. Okay, but in any case, he didn't do that to Radha Govindaji temple. But I'm not, believe me, I'm not defending him. What I'm trying to help you understand is that under the brilliant leadership of the Six Goswamis, who Śrī Chaitanya personally chose because of their ability to deal in the political, to be on one hand the deepest of all ascetic bhaktas, and on the other hand to be completely politically savvy, that they managed to create, to cross barriers and create healthy relationships, even with the Muslim, government. Try to see this side of it, Raghunath. Okay, try to open your mind a little, Raghunath. Okay, I'm going to need you to expand a little bit here. Okay, but he was talking about the Goswamis, this Srivatsa Goswami, and he just, and at a certain point, he started talking about their mercy, their compassion, and he just started to cry. It was a beautiful moment. It was a really beautiful moment. So in any case, meeting the Goswami from the Vallabha temple, from the Rādhā-vallabha temple, meeting Srivatsa Goswami, spending time with Krishna Murari Goswami in Nandagram.
Oh, nice. You get some nectar from that. You don't have much time. Anything good from that temple? That's the Krishna Balaram temple. Also older, a few hundred years, discovered in a cave, these deities. They're older, they're pre-Chaitanya Bhakti. So you want to say something about those Krishna Balaram temple?
Oh, yeah.
You want to share?
Nanda's home, right? That place. That's the home of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's father. So his whole family is on the altar. And again, their love there is all rag, right? It's little Krishna. There's
Krishna's my son.
Love for him there. there's a love for Radha. There they understand Radha. They're not, their interest is not, the Parakya that we know, Radha and Krishna, like, Radha's like married to Krishna, like she comes and she's part of the family, like Yashoda's like the mother-in-law, But they have a beautiful mood there. That temple was jumping, Raghunath. Absolutely beautiful mood. And Krishna Murari Goswami, beautiful. We've had him on the show. Yeah. Beautiful Brijbasi with that kind of intimate love. And his devotion how has it been nourished? It's been nourished by hearing the songs of the great bhakti saints. Mm. And he can speak so beautifully, so
eloquently,
really heart-moving, go right to the heart, speaking these beautiful leelas of Krishna, Krishna's family, Radha and Krishna. And that's what he did. He sat up there on the roof. The sun was baking down on us. Yeah. And we're just like totally exposed, and we just, kind of put our claws over our head, and he just spoke, Raghunath, and it was absolutely beautiful. So he brought us in. We had a special up-close darshan in the inner room right by all the deities. And they took us up on the roof. Then they took us to Prema Sarovara. Yeah. Where that's a quiet, contemplative place, Yeah. Fed us beautifully there. At every step was meaningful. And this Oxford Center for Hindu Studies, if you're not familiar with it, you can Google it. You can see that there's such a nice culture they developed. It crosses barriers of institution, right? Yeah. Kind of like Wisdom of the Sages does too. It's like, you and I certainly, identify ourselves as servants of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, but we have listeners that are coming from, from different branches and so on. Sure. And these scholars are doing the same thing, and there was a beautiful mood amongst all the Vaishnavas. And they're really doing a lot to help us understand more clearly the works of our Goswamis, the history of our lineage, all of these things. They're doing great work. So something about the whole experience just kept every aspect, whether it was being in the classroom and with like more didactic kind of learning, whether it was being in these holy places, whether it was meeting these Goswamis from these temples, or even the traveling in between, which sometimes the way Braj is right now, it's difficult to get around. Sometimes we're taking rickshaw rides that are like much longer than they necessarily would need to be because there's so much traffic and you got to go completely out of the way. There was a lot of that, but even through it all, in all of that time, we're having wonderful conversations, either as a whole group or in separate groups over meals. I felt like for 10 days, the entire thing was valuable from beginning to end. It wasn't like there was any dead time. And so they're really beautiful relationships connecting the devotees, and a lot of learning, but, education on the, for me, it was like going, it would have been like this for you too, Raghunath, I think. It was like nostalgic going back to Vrindavan as a student, like you and I used to do back in the 90s. Right. So it was a wonderful experience. And I really offer my respect to Ashanaka Rishi Prabhu, who kind of was the originator of the Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. For him, this was like a dream come true, something he'd been working towards for decades. And to all of the scholars and the professors that took part, and to all the participants, I give my thanks to. They really have.
You're going to do it again?
So much. I believe they will. I think it was so successful. I'm pretty certain that they will do it again next year. That's my guess.
Nice.
Maybe you and I do it together.
Yeah,
we'll be students.
Maybe we do that together.
All right.
Tell me. Thanks, everybody.
What did you say?
Yeah, tell me more. The glories. The invaders.
Oh, what, you think I'm rubbing it in? You see, I'm not.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for Kaustubha.
What I told you earlier,
Stockholm syndrome, and
it's all Islamophobia, Raghunath. That's it.
It's all Hindu phobia. It's all Hindu phobia. But everybody, great to see everybody back. And it's Monday morning, and it's I'm very excited about Krishna Bhakti. I will say this. Krishna, wherever you're getting into this, sometimes people get jaded. Don't be jaded. Krishna's real. Krishna's in our life. And Krishna will be in your life to the degree that you want him in your life. Just invite him more over. Thanks everybody for coming over to Super Soul this weekend who came. We had a wonderful community, and we're going to build this community bigger and bigger and bigger in 2026. Let's get wisdom and sages out to everybody you know. Everybody you know is sort of sitting on a spiritual fence. Share it with them. Invite them to some program, or invite them just to the podcast. Just send them a link. That joy that we feel from Bhakti, let's give that to other people. You know, make that our life mission. People in this world just have no mission in this world. And without a mission, people feel purposeless. But what a great mission, giving Bhakti to other people, huh?